Hey everyone, for those of you who haven't met me, I'm Jeff Warshauer. I founded Live Music Loyalty. It's something I've been working on for the last couple years and had the idea even prior to that. So I'm excited to share it with everyone locally, finally pushing it out this summer and working with all the local artists to help grow their fan bases and get the word out about it. So um, thank you everyone for joining and participating in this and sharing. So just wanted to kick off and kind of talk a little about why we developed the app and the problem it's trying to solve. So just high level, there's a problem facing the live music industry. No one knows who goes to concerts, even like Rolling Stones shows, right? People buy tickets. On average, someone buys 3 tickets, gives 2 to their friends, so 2/3 of the audience is anonymous. Scalpers are involved, so they help get in the middle, and no one really knows who the end consumer is for live music events. So that was essentially what the platform was designed around. One thing I discovered is that no one really knows around here everything that's going on. There's just so much stuff happening, and there's not one place for everyone, one person to find it, let alone fans. Even if you are an artist and are connected in the community, it's hard to know. So we build out features within the app to make that possible. So it's a concert discovery app on the hyper local level. So we have every gig from Highlands down through Asbury, and it's also national too. So we have all the major touring acts on the app. And then what we also discovered in features that we built into the app, we're trying to make it readily accessible for fans who attended the shows to find out who all these artists are and connect with them.
Yeah, the way I look at it, so I've got my role with the Asbury Park Music Foundation, but along with a lot of people within Asbury, just interested in seeing that the collective music scene gets attention to whatever degree it can, and that the bands that are working hard get a chance to grow their fan base. So I think I look at it from the business side, and you've got this idea that if you could connect with your fans, you've got to grow your fans, grow your followers, and build your revenue from them. And one of the best things you could look for as a band in terms of the connection is while the app is active and going there, someone takes 3 clicks and all of a sudden they look and they go, oh, who is this opening act? Never heard of him before. Click, I'm on their Spotify. Follow that quickly. Things that you'd love to happen, but then someone leaves and 3 days later they can't quite remember your name, or they just didn't bother. So that idea of the immediacy, I think it's also the idea that you're engaging people. So the fact that they check in, even if they know you, they're your regular followers. If you think of the post-show activities and the opportunities, there's opportunities that could tie into merch. There's opportunities that could tie into follow-up emails. And then there's even the fact that, hey, they saw you once, and within the app they say, when's the next time you're playing? So all these things that just help you develop the relationship. So as much as we're going to talk about a summer promotion, I think it's a good opportunity to get into that mindset of how do you grow your fan base, and it's really growing your business.
So when someone checks into your show, they'll keep a record of all the events they have, and then they'll know who the artists that they may have missed, or they'll keep a running track of how many times they've seen the Mercury Brothers or whomever or Foes. You're kind of, keeping a scrapbook of all these things, and that's how it was originally designed. We built out all these additional features. So we're identifying who comes to shows, and we can re-engage with fans post-event. So we built out retargeting email capabilities from the app.
What's this summer thing all about?
So the promotion for the local artists is what we're doing is trying to get them up and using the app, and we'll be doing merch giveaways. I think that's probably the coolest thing because, we'll be buying merch from the artists, and for fans that are most engaged through the app, through check-ins, photo shares, and things like that, be rewarding the fans that are most engaged with those artists, right? And
that's incredible.
And that's kind of building on that type of stuff. We'll also be doing cash incentives for artists to get fans to create profiles and check in. So basically, the requirements for being part of the promotion are you have to play 5 times between the months of July, August, and September. Three of those or two of those events can be private parties. So if you want to throw, have a show at the house and just get a bunch of artists playing and get people to just check in to boost those artists on the app and promote them up the leaderboard, right? So the whole thing with that popular screen, it's like a community-driven discovery. Yeah. So it's all about, supporting the local artists, and then you get the fans engaged and they become more prominent on the app. So we got the merch giveaways, we've got cash incentives, and then at the end, we'll be doing a gig at Fourth Wave. At the conclusion, the artists that generate the most engagement will get the 4 slots, and we'll have a party.
So nice paid gig, so you get a big bonus at the end, yeah. and you get more fans coming out for you.
Yeah.
You need these 5 shows, and do you want the bands to be promoting at the shows, before the shows, both, where you have promo material that they can easily share, like maybe like a 20-second like video that shows users how to download the app, use the app, and when you go to the show, open it up? Because that could make things easier. But while I'm on stage, it's like, hey, did you already download the app? Check in right now.
Yeah, so we'll have cards like this that everyone can keep on their merch table. We'll have stickers for the merch table too. And then we'll have social media content that all the artists can share on the various platforms. And you can take that actually right from the app. So if you go in and you search the events, there'll be a share feature in which you can create content to blast out to Instagram stories or Facebook or wherever.
The most valuable thing, as someone that is going to be using this to promote my shows, I don't want to have to make people do extra steps. So me going, open up your phone and open the app you already downloaded is huge. So I think the priority should be getting people to download the app before they're at the show. And then when they're at the show, they already know how to do it.
I'm dropping these cards at all the venues and all the restaurants and hotels around town. We'll be sponsoring Jams on the Sand and Asbury Park Live. So just really trying to bombard the town with, some of the softer promotion and getting the word out about it. So hopefully they already have downloaded it.
So my other thing is, I see the incentive for the bands. Awesome. I'm already stoked. You're buying merch. You're giving me the incentive to do well so I can play a kick-ass show. I love what you're doing for the bands. What about the consumer, the people that are going to be downloading the app? Besides like what the app is for, which is telling you about all the shows, is it the free merch giveaway? Is that like what you're leaning on?
That's the artist. The artist's job is to push the incentive of the fans to want to engage with them. The natural connection of a fan is that reason they're going to go onto the app.
Well, is there a possibility for like free tickets to shows?
I think anything's a possibility. Like, I'm open for every suggestion, right? I figured I could get some shirts and get some music, and we'll give those to the fans. Certainly getting on guest lists and giving tickets away.
Yeah,
because it's the majority of these shows are going to be free no matter what, depending on where they're playing. But that is a pretty good idea. A lot of these places that you have Wonder Bar and these other, they open for bigger bands and stuff like that. Being able to get to see their band open for that bigger band is kind of paramount in that sense, where you've either been with them for a very long time, you see them play at the Saint and all these other house shows and stuff, and you see them open for that. Giving them that incentive to push is a pretty good idea.
Totally. I mean, the rewards are really up to the artists. However they want to reward their fans, I'm game. We'll be doing ticket giveaways at the Jams on the Sand for the Wonder Bar after parties. So I know that'll be part of it. People are already doing the social thing. There's Instagram and there are these other platforms, but there's no platform that connects the people at an event and that verifies who is hosting an event and who the attendees are, and make that available to the artists, right? It all funnels back to that. And to Kale's point is, we talked about it. How can we continue to leverage what the app does to build out greater feature sets to provide more value to artists? And I think we will take the data that we get from this summer and the engagement, and artists can package that and use that to hopefully book more gigs outside of town.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, because that's another
town is huge.
another big thing that we need to try to do is get artists out and have them growing their audience, because expanding the audience is a problem point as well.
But you're right. If you get a show up in Boston and you've got 30 people there and come back here, you'll never connect with them again. But if you get them in just a little bit, then that could continue on. And you go back whatever months later, and you've got that opportunity. So one of the requirements, not to get too much into this, that Jeff put out is to give some statistic numbers up front at the beginning of the summer and at the end of the summer. But so that's the logistics. But I think the interesting thing is that points to the goals. In other words, by the end of the summer, the bands not only went through this as a promotion, everyone's looking at the same thing: is did it grow the fan base, the followers, all these different things. And I would say for a lot of bands, they're connected into you guys through Telegraph and 3143. They've got your support. If there's other independents, we're here too. We'll help. We'll just bounce around ideas. What else can they be doing to engage and grow?
Yep.
So I'm going to build reports by the end of this that basically map your Spotify for artist data in terms of followers, listeners, and stuff like that around events and around engagement and click-throughs through the app to your Instagram and Spotify accounts, so that I can guarantee that we're driving people to those other platforms to grow your audience outside through the app, right? It's not necessarily about the app. It's about how the app connects artists and all of their digital platforms and their fans.
And honestly, that is super important to me, especially from the Spotify standpoint. A lot of the bands that I manage, I look at that Spotify for artists in terms of being able to book where they're being.
Oh, right. Yeah, that kind of detail.
Well.
You have a lot of artists on the lineups, and each kind of brings their own pockets of fans. And someone might be like, "Who's this?" Or it's like it's the
crossover.
It's getting the fans of this other artist that you're playing with to become one of your fans.
Yeah,
it's not a zero-sum game.
Cross-pollination.
Yep. And you guys do it all the time, because you always add a touring act to the locals, and then you want it reciprocated when you get to their local area.
Pony does.
Yeah.
That's what this can totally do for everybody. Yeah. It's like if you're playing with 3 other artists and they don't know half the artists are, then you can just help the other artists double their fan base basically from that captive audience.
It's hard.
Well, hopefully some of the sharing capabilities in the app will make it much easier for people or for the artists to just grab a quick piece of content with the event details and blast it out.
Yeah.
It should literally be a minute. It's a couple clicks away, and then it's on your on all your channels. Yeah, we get the community together on the platform, promote all the local artists, so all of the they're gonna look for the touring bands, but they're gonna find what's going on at Langosta and Yacht Club across the street and say, okay, well let's go check them out.
Right. But I would think so for the promotion, you're letting 50 bands in, then it's capped, and people have to sign up before the end of the month.
Before the end of the month.
Before the end of the month, and then they're in.
Google form
you can't
in the email.
Yeah, it's a simple form. I think people shouldn't pass up that opportunity. It's going to fill up. Get this going, and then we'll coach and help along the way.
All right,
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for
dialing in.